Hello there, video game nerds. We have a treat today. I'm going to talk about my next project, one of my many projects. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how I came about to taking this project on. While I was working on the pinball machine project, I was doing a lot of searching for tips of refinishing and the circuits and just anything I could find about repairing and refurbishing pinball machines. And I came across a couple of sites, the Pinballarama and that sort of thing. But I came across a very prolific YouTube channel, which is for TNT Amusements. And TNT Amusements is a company that has been around for 40 plus years, I think. And they sell used arcade machines and pinball machines to homeowners. People who really will take care of and love the machines. They go out and find used machines and machines getting dumped, and they fix them up and clean them up and put their little sticker on it and sell it to people. And they guarantee that if they're done with the machines, they can return them and use them to buy a new machine. So they really keep these machines going and putting out there. They really have a love for the machines. You can really tell that they care about the craftsmanship and the artwork, and but they also care about the money. So they know they've been doing this for a long time, and they understand the business, and they're still in business. And so the videos, they have almost 1,600 videos, and the guy has a penchant for the Three Stooges. So they're rather silly videos, but you can really get a lot of tips and take a look at a lot of rare games and interesting things. And so I really, really enjoyed those videos. And I thought to myself, he was talking about stuff he was trying to sell, and he's got a lot of logic boards for machines that somehow have lost their case, either through water damage or they've been parted out by somebody, or maybe even tossed off the roof. I don't know who would ever do anything like that. That just sounds too mean. But he has these logic boards, and I thought, if I bet I could take one of these logic boards and rebuild a cabinet for it and get the parts for it and put it together in a wonderful machine for someone to enjoy in their own home. So I thought, I think I could do this. So one of the bargain basements they had were some MS Pac-man logic boards. So I picked up one of those. I picked up the manual for it, and I picked up this wonderful T-shirt, right? TNT Amusements. I got it with a pocket, so I can keep my hot pockets in there just in case I have to write some emails. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the 3D overhead camera, and we'll talk a little bit about this project, what it's going to take to put it together, and we'll go from there. Okay, see you in the overhead. All right, here we are in the overhead view, and this, my friends, is a MS Pac-man logic board. Now, MS Pac-man logic boards all start off as a Pacman logic board. See right there, Pacman. So MS Pac-man was an upgrade for the Pacman, and what it did was it added this board here. These are extra circuits to increase the decoding the address decoding, so it could actually access more RAM and ROMs. This right here is a card that does a bus overlay for the Z80 chip, and that bus gives it access to this extra data for the maps and some other memory and stuff. So these three pieces turn the Pac-Man into a MS Pac-Man. There was also an upgrade to turn this into a Galaga, and maybe I'll play around with a Galaga later on. There is another board called the Class of 81, and that had MS Pac-Man and Galaga all together into a little board like this. It was sort of an anniversary release in the 90s. So electronics really had come a long way. This came from TNT Amusements, and it was tested working, and it's in really good shape. You can see that they've replaced some of the capacitors, and they've cleaned up the circuit boards and the vias and all that sort of thing. So I'm pretty confident that this board is in tip-top condition, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. But right now, we're going to talk about what this project is going to entail. All right, so there's two phases of this project. And the first phase is the electronics. We need to make sure that we have all the pieces to hook up the electronics and make sure that they all work together. Okay, electronics. So what this entails is, of course, the logic board. And the MS Pac-Man's a pretty simple arcade design, because it doesn't have a lot of extra boards. It doesn't have a separate soundboard. It doesn't have a separate power modulator. Doesn't have a separate driver board. So it's pretty simple, and it connects up with a harness to all the different parts of the machine. And so the power supply is one of those things. I believe it has a +5 and a +12, and I think maybe a -12. The other thing that we need to connect to is the control panel. So it's got the joystick, the 4-way joystick. It's got the player 1, player 2. Is that it? That might be it. We also have the coin door, so it can measure the coin drops. I think there might be a service switch or something in the coin door as well. Then we have over here on this side, we got the TV display, or the video. What else we got? We got the speakers. I don't think it's stereo. I think it's just a mono speaker. What else? I think that's it for the electronics. So we need to get all these pieces, all these parts, and hook them up together and test them out. Make sure that the electronics are working. All right, then the next set, or the next phase, is the cabinet. We need to get some plywood, and we need to cut it out to the shape of the cabinet. That is the MS Pac-man cabinet. And so there's going to be 2 pieces of this. We also got to do the pieces that go together, and the kick stand and the back door. And fortunately, the plans for these are all online, pretty simple to get. Also inside the cabinet, there are some rails here for the holding the TV tube in here. We gotta cut a hole here for the coin door. There's some lighting we're gonna have to do, and we're gonna have to need the we're gonna have to get the marquee. Now we are also gonna need to get some side art for this side, and there's also some around the K door and on the opposite side. The TV display also has a glass bezel where it's got some artwork around there, and then we got the piece of wood that comes here, which the speaker's on, so we're gonna have to hook that up as well. Gonna have to have a really good strong floor and some leg risers on the bottom there. So putting the cabinet together is going to be quite a bit of work. And then so once we get the cabinet together, we hook up all the electronics and install it inside, and we give it a go, see how it works. All right, I'm really excited about this. So hopefully we can put this logic board in a nice case that someone's going to want, and put it in a wonderful home so it can live on for another 50 years or so. All right, that's the project. And the next episode, we'll start talking about the electronics and all the pieces we can get together for that, and see if we can find everything we need. Okay. All right, thanks again. We'll catch you next time.